Well, hello there people from the internet. Welcome back to some more Battlefield 1, and today we're going to talk about the aerial combat. We still have a couple of days left until the Battlefield Closed Alpha is going to end, and then that'll be that until the Battlefield 1 will have an open beta and everybody will get to play it. But since today I'd like to talk about the aerial combat, is it really relevant like it was in Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, other Battlefields before? Are you really that important up there? Should you be focusing on that? Should it be something that you should be really learning? If you're not into that much, into flying and everything like that, should you really learn this craft and get in there and taking down the enemy's air support? And now that there's no ticket mechanic, how does that sort of affect gameplay and how does it work and all that sort of stuff? Well, I must say that I do enjoy the dogfights when they happen. It's pretty cool you having to sort of slow down and dodge your opponents, getting in there and having somebody as a gunner in the front seat or the back seat for the bomber. It's pretty cool how you have to sort of stay away from them, don't get in that close, because getting in close you're risking taking a shitload of damage, and since I'm always flying in this little plane, which is the Scout, you will be taken out pretty quickly. Now, I do enjoy the flight mechanics, they're pretty cool. I also love the little bits of flying debris from your wing. You know, people should start getting into this a little bit more. I tend to do it a lot when I'm on the ground. If you see a little Scout or you see somebody flying sort of low and close enough for you to get a couple of hits on him, try and hit his wing. If you do hit his wing, that'll affect how he flies. Now, if you're lucky enough and he's pretty low on health, they might end up crashing, giving you the kill. But if not, at least you're giving your other pilot another chance for you to take him down, because he can't fly as good as he wanted to because his wing's been clipped off, and it's going to make it sort of easier for you to take down the enemy plane. Now, another thing that I've noticed a lot that's happening is once you get to a certain stage that you almost damaged him to sort of the point that he can't repair, or he gets to like 10% or something like that, he'll just end up bailing. He won't stay in there, and since it takes for you forever to get one of these little planes, apart from if your team is captured in most of the objectives and you have a couple of flags, then you do have a couple other spawns out there, but they do take quite a bit for him to spawn, so you will have to wait quite a little bit for you to hop into a plane. Now, the attack one, I'm not really a big fan of that. I've used it a couple of times. I don't really see it as anything special. You can have a gunner on your tail on it, and so you can have somebody sort of watching your back. And you also have the bomber, which is a three-seater. Obviously, you'll have whoever's flying, then you'll have a front and a back seat gunner, and you can still drop bombs on people. But the reason I don't enjoy that much is just because it's too slow and sluggish. You know, you're going to be an easy target for everybody. It's a pretty big plane, and it's fairly easy for it to take down. Not to mention people camping the shit out of them AA guns in their own bases, and I think that's something they should address really fast. Because there's just nothing more frustrating than having somebody blast the shit out of you from his own base and you being unable to kill him, because it doesn't really have... The planes don't really have too much splash damage, and I think that, again, we'll come back to this, as the planes need to be beefed up a little bit. They need to have something to go against infantry. 9 out of 10 times I end up finding dogfights or waiting for somebody to spawn so I can have a dogfight. Yeah, you can still take out infantry, and I do enjoy road killing people here and there, and I'll have a video of just road kills coming up in a couple of days. But mostly you will not be engaging the infantry that much because there's just way too much cover for them. They'll hide around, and there's basically no splash damage to this. So chances are you might not actually get a kill from it. So you'll just end up just waiting and waiting for another plane to spawn in so you can go in and have a bit of a dogfight and have a bit of fun with it. Now, since it takes quite a bit, and I think this is going to be something that servers will have fast respawns and things like that, so that's not going to be a sort of major issue later down the line. But as it is so far, it is, because you're waiting way too long for a plane to spawn, and there's not really much you can do versus the infantry, just because there's just too much cover for him and there's not enough splash damage. Like I said, I do enjoy getting a roadkill from time to time. I do enjoy killing a player from time to time on the ground, but mostly you'll end up just doing dogfights, and that's pretty much it, and you're waiting a lot for you to dogfight with somebody else. As for the repair mechanics, I've mentioned that in a previous video, that definitely needs to go, or it definitely needs to be revamped something, because there's nothing more boring in this world than you just sort of glide in midair by holding X so you can repair your plane, and at the same time your controls are all locked up and you can't really do anything. And if you take a little bit of damage by anything, even small arms fire or anything like that, that cancels everything. So you could have done that, say, 10 seconds, 8 seconds on, somebody would have hit you, and then you just have to do it all over again, and that's just boring as shit. and I hope that makes its way out and something sort of new and fresh comes in, a way to sort of repair planes. I never really felt that relevant to the fight. It gets to the point where if you're not taking that guy out, it doesn't really matter that much because he can't do that much damage to your troops on the ground. So he's only going to sort of fly around and circle around trying to get a kill himself or trying to get into a dogfight himself. So again, that's something that he should focus on in making the planes more relevant towards the ground troop. Because as it is, I remember in Battlefield 4, I used to hop in the Little Bird and I used to just mow the shit out of everybody in the sky. And a good pilot will never let you know in the chat, hey, I'm a good pilot, I'm fucking doing my job. But the way you know he's doing his job is because you're not getting killed by anybody from the sky. When you're not getting killed by anybody from the sky, you know somebody's out there doing his job, and he should be thankful for it. In this case, you're not really worried about the skies too much because they can't do that much to you. So I really hope that they'll address this early on in the beta, and we'll see some more tweaks and sort of stuff to this. But I never really felt that because I crashed or because I didn't do my job, they lost because of me. I was kind of just having a bit of fun up in the sky and nobody really cared. So you'll have to let me know in the comments down below what you think, and that will be pretty much it for me. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.